Hi, I'm Luce. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am filming a massive book haul. So this is all of the books that I have acquired this year. Now, is this a ridiculous amount of books that I'm about to show you? Yes, but I was going to try and excuse myself. I don't really have an excuse. It was my birthday last week and I did get actually a load of books for my birthday. I was very spoiled. The rest I just bought for myself. Hopefully this doesn't end up being like stupidly long, but yeah, I'm just gonna go through all of the books. I haven't actually counted how many we have yet, so I'll do that at the end of the video. But I have split them up into sections. So I have subscription box books, I have books that were gifts, I have books that I bought myself, and then I also have some pre-orders. I'm going to start with my subscription box books actually. Also, on a non-book related note, I did get my hair redone, so I am very, very red right now, and I'm actually obsessed with it. I love this hair colour so much. It is so beautiful and so vibrant. I don't have these organised as well as I would have liked, so we are kind of just going to go through kind of randomly. But the first one I have in my pile is, this was the Fairy Loot January YA book for the month, and it is Cruel is the Light by Sophie Clark. This is a really, really beautiful edition. I love the sprayed edges so much. I am extremely excited to read this one. It seems like it's Fairy Loot, and a lot of Fairy Loot books are like forbidden romance, but I believe it's between an exorcist and a demon? Something like that? I don't know. I am very intrigued about it. I've seen really good reviews for this one. Then I have the January Romantasy book from Fairy Loot, which is the Starlight Air by Amelie Howard. This one, again, all of the subscription box books are going to be beautiful. That's kind of just par for the course. But another like gorgeous kind of celestial sprayed edge. This one I actually really don't know a lot about. Oh, the end paper is also beautiful. Bladesmith Blessed by the Stars, A Prince with a Dangerous Secret, A God Bound in the Shadows. So sounds kind of generic romantasy, but like I love romantasy, so like it's not a bad thing to me. And then the Fairy Loot January adult book is Immortal by Sue Tan. This might be my favourite special edition copy that I've received this year so far. I love it so much. The colours on it are just beautiful. This one I also don't know a lot about. This is a running theme with the books I get in my subscription boxes. But A Deadly Betrayal, A Dangerous Alliance, A Fight for Survival. This is my third Sue Tan book that I have. I haven't read any of them yet, but I have a feeling I'm really gonna like her writing. I've heard like phenomenal things about her book, so very excited to pick up this beautiful book hopefully soon. And the Illumicrate January book is Watermoon by Samantha Soto Yambao. I said Immortal was my favourite copy, but I actually think it's this. I've heard this gives kind of cozy fantasy Ghibli vibes, and I love Ghibli, so this one sounds really cool. I think this is about a girl who works... Okay, so she works in a pawn shop where those can pawn their life choices and deepest regrets. And then she ends up going on some kind of magical journey. Okay, I should have put these with the rest of the Fairy Loot books, but I forgot because I literally received them yesterday, so they were in a slightly different place. But I have my 3 Fairy Loot February books. So the YA book is The Rose Bargain by Sasha Payton Smith. The colour scheme on this is to die for. I love, you wouldn't necessarily know it looking at me with all the black and everything, I love pink. It is my favourite colour, and this is just everything I want in a book cover. It's so beautiful. And this one is a historical kind of romantasy type book. I believe that the main girl is trying to wed the Fae Prince, I think. This is also a standalone, which I think is very intriguing because I don't tend to see a lot of fantasy standalones in book subscription box anymore. Okay, and then the romantasy one is Iron and Embers by Helen Schuerer? I am not pronouncing that right, but this beautiful book, this I have never heard of. Ever. So I know nothing about this. On the back it just says the difference between poison and cure is simply a matter of dose. So I'm assuming it has something to do with poisons. I love the sprayed edges on this one. So I will definitely be looking more into what this one is actually about because it's completely unknown to me, but this edition is absolutely stunning. I forget that I'm getting old and sitting on the floor. It's really bad for my back. So I am suffering already. Okay, and then the adult book for February is The Scorpion and the Night Blossom by Emily Wen Zhao. This is another author like with Su Lin Tan. I have other books by this author. I have, what's it called? Ooh, I can't remember. They've got really long names. But I have a duology from her as well, which I really want to read. This one I know nothing about, but it's gorgeous. What does this one say? On the back it says, "The Temple of Dawn cordially invites you to participate in the immortal trials." So this has trials, which bodes really well for me. This naked hardback. Like, are you kidding me? Are you actually kidding me? I think this is a book that I'm gonna have to display, dust jacket off, cover facing forward, because this is my favourite thing in the world. This is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Okay, and then I have my Afterlight books. So I have the January book, which is Under Lock and Key by Lana Ferguson. This one, I'm gonna be so for real. I meant to skip this one and I completely forgot, but this copy is beautiful. It's super cute. It's got a little Loch Ness monster on the back. This one is set in Scotland and I think it's following people who are obsessed with the Loch Ness monster falling in love. I'm gonna be real, this doesn't sound like something I will like. I don't think, but I am gonna give it a try. But then one that I was extremely excited about is First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. I haven't read the Love Like Farms series by B.K. Borison, but one of my friends has and she really loves it. So I do want to give that one a try, but this one is, I believe, I know it's definitely to do with like radio shows. Okay, this seems like it's a guy who is like really cynical about love and then like a hopeless romantic. So that sounds like something I am going to absolutely adore. And like I said with the Rose Bargain, I love pink. So like the color scheme on this book is to die for. Okay, and then I just have my kind of pre-orders, my special editions that I ordered through subscription boxes. So the other Afterlight one I have is Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. I've been seeing a lot of really mixed opinions on this one. So I'm super intrigued to try it. I'm not going to be getting to it anytime soon because I am reading Ali Hazelwood books in kind of publication order, but this has been causing a weird amount of controversy because Ali Hazelwood, at least from my opinion, is such a beloved author. So to see a lot of people really not liking this one has me very intrigued. But I know that this is a sports romance. I believe it's college as well, and to swimmers or divers maybe? Okay, and then the other four I have are Fairy Loot ones. So I have books 2 and 3 in the Knock 'Em Out series by Lucy Score. So Things We Hide from the Light and Things We Left Behind. I have already read this series and I love this series. So I had to get the other 2 books when they came out in the special edition hardbacks. Then I have The Blood Orchid by Kylie Lee Baker. This is the sequel to The Scarlet Alchemist, which I read last year and really enjoyed. This one is a YA fantasy duology. It is set in China and it follows this girl who is trying to be the kind of palace's royal alchemist. This might have been a bad financial decision for me because I haven't read the first one and I have heard a lot of mainly not great things about it, but I wanted this copy. So I have A Monsoon Rising by Thea Guanzon. This is the sequel to the Hurricane Wars. Like I said, I haven't read the first one and most people that I follow and trust don't like this series, but listen, I love these copies and maybe I'm gonna love it. Maybe I'm gonna love it. I couldn't not get it though because I needed it. I just needed it for aesthetic purposes. Next, I'm going to go with the books that I bought for myself. So I'm going to go through my pre-orders first. And the first one I have is this beautiful edition of The Kingdom Duet by Rena Kent. This is by After Dark Bookshop, I believe is the store. In my December book haul, like my end of the year book haul, I hauled the Monster Trilogy by the same shop. So these match and they are these are gorgeous. They have sprayed edges and my favorite part, they are signed by Rena Kent. So I am extremely excited to have this as part of my collection. And then let's do my other Rena Kent pre-orders. So I pre-ordered the traditional paperback version of God of Fury, which is my favorite book in the Legacy of God series and one of my favorite books of all time. I already have 2 copies of this book. They are literally right next to me on this shelf. But I love this book. I love Nico and Bran, and I do want to collect the whole series in these paperback editions, the traditionally published ones, because I want to go through and annotate this series when I do my reread. Okay, next is the most predictable pre-order of all time. It is Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. This is the... which one is this? This one actually is the Target edition. One of my lovely friends in the US managed to get a copy and ship it over to me. So I have the Target edition and then just the standard UK hardback. This one I am planning on putting a dust jacket on to match the rest of them, but this one is gonna just stay. Actually, I'm probably actually just gonna display this one like sprayed edges out, because I don't love the covers of the Fourth Wing series. I think they're actually kind of, I guess boring is the right word. I just really don't like them, and I don't like the spines. So I think this one's gonna have to be sprayed edges out, and then yeah, dust jacket for this one. Then I have one of my most anticipated releases of the entire year. I have The Dark Mirror by Samantha Shannon. I have spoken about the series a couple of times recently. This is book 5 in the Bone Season series, and I am dying to get to this. I still need to read book 4. I am planning on starting, I think, this weekend, but I am so excited and so happy to have this in my hands. And this one is also signed by Samantha. Then my last pre-order is actually from a Kickstarter. So I donated, I guess, to Cassandra Clare's Shadowhunter Kickstarter, because I am a Shadowhunter super fan. I am such a stan of that series. So I subscribed, donated, I don't know what the word is. I have the Kickstarter stuff. So my book from the first round came last year, and I now have book 2, which this is an updated version of, what is it called? Notable Shadowhunters and Denizens of Downworld. So this one has a beautiful foiled hardback. It has really beautiful end papers, and this is basically just like an illustrated guide to every single character in the Shadowhunter world. So it has a portrait, which the art is done by Cassandra Jean. I absolutely love her art style. And then it has their species, when they were born, favorite weapon, family, and then a little paragraph about them. So I am really, really happy to have this, because it's just like a fun little extra to the series. Like it's not necessary reading at all. It's just, yeah, it's just a fun extra. Okay, and then most of these books that I bought for myself were from a shopping trip that I did with my bestie. So we went to this really cute independent run bookshop cafe when I was visiting her recently. And I got a little bit carried away. We also went to Blackwell's afterwards. Quite a lot of the books in this stack are from there. So this first one is, and it is Return to the Delicate Dream Department Store by Mi Lee. This, if you watched my March TBR, is on my March TBR. This is the sequel to the Delicate Dream Department Store. It is a Korean translated kind of literary fiction / magical realism story. And it follows our main character who works at this department store for dreams. And it's kind of told in little like short stories almost of just her experience working in the store and like her interactions with co-workers and customers. And it's just a really sweet, wholesome, lovely book to read. I really, really enjoyed the first one. Let's just go through all the books that I got when I was out with Ruth. So the next one I have is A Sunny Place for Shady People by Mariana Enriquez. I have read, ooh, what is it called? The Dangers of Smoking in Bed by this author, which is a short story horror collection which I really enjoyed, and this is another one. I absolutely adore the covers she has for these collections. I do also have her massive full-length horror novel. But yeah, this is just, it says it's a delicious diabolical collection of short stories, and I love horror short stories and I really like Mariana Enriquez's writing, so I'm super excited for this one. Then another cover I really like, I have Strange Pictures by Uketsu maybe? This one is, I believe this author is a YouTuber, I think. Enigmatic YouTuber and author specializing in horror and mystery. So that's cool. This one, I'm gonna be so honest, I mainly picked up because of the cover, because I'm obsessed with it. But this one says, a series of drawings made by a young woman before her death, a child's disturbing picture of his home, a desperate sketch made by a murder victim in his final moments, each contains a chilling warning, each reveals a terrible secret hidden in plain sight. So I don't really know what's going on. I just know it's horror, and I am definitely entering my horror era. I am really in the mood to read it, so this is probably one that I will get to soon. This one does also have like illustrations throughout it, which I think is really cool. And then this one I picked up because me and Ruth are planning on buddy reading it, which is Annihilation by Jeff Vandermeer. This, I don't know what it is. So many of the books in this haul are just like such beautiful covers, but this, I love this cover. This one, honestly, even though this book has been around for ages, this is a really hyped and beloved book. I don't really know much about it. I think it's this group of scientists or something who go into like this weird like dangerous place that I don't really know, but I know it's a trilogy and I picked it up because me and Ruth want to read it together. Another horror short story collection I have is Out There Screaming, which is edited by Jordan Peele. This is by a bunch of Black horror authors. Like I said, I love short story horror collections. I think they are one of my favorite ways to consume horror. And this one says, it is a groundbreaking anthology of Black horror stories exploring the terrors of the supernatural and the chilling reality of injustice that haunts our world. Sounds exactly like something that I want to read. Okay, then I have this tiny little one, which is Convenience Store Woman by Sayaka Murata. I have read, I believe it's called Life Ceremony by this author, which is, again, another short story collection, which I really enjoyed. And this one, I believe, is her most popular work. So I'm really intrigued about this one because, like I said, it's so short, and all I know is that it's about a woman who works in a convenience store. Okay, and then I have another book that me and Ruth are going to buddy read, which I won't lie to you, I'm a little bit scared of this book, but it is Perfume by Patrick Suskind? I don't really know. This one I've heard a lot about, and I believe, well, it says Perfume, the story of a murderer, so it's definitely a murderer, but I feel like he has like an obsession with like scents. And I have it in my head that he makes perfume out of dead bodies, but I don't really know. Me and Ruth did have a flip through, and the writing style is very interesting. It's very pretentious, so I think this might be a little bit of a struggle, but I'm really intrigued just to know what's going on in this book. And then the final book that I got from that trip is very much out of my kind of normal realm of reading because it's non-fiction, but it is The Will to Change by Bell Hooks. This says it is about men, masculinity and love. If I'm ever gonna read non-fiction, it's probably gonna be about feminism. So this one, I've heard a lot of really good things about this particular book. It is very short, and I'm probably going to listen to the audiobook when I eventually get around to it. I think it talks a lot about men's approach to feminism and how they need to have the will to change. So I am very excited, and if I enjoy this, I will probably be forcing all of the men in my life to read this. Okay, and then I believe these are the last books that I purchased for myself. I could be missing books, but I think this is it. So I have some books in the Jacksonville Rays series by Emily Rath. So I have book 2, which is Pucking Wild, and then I have Pucking Ever After volumes 1 and 2, which are the two kind of novella bind-ups. So I have read all 3 of these, but I only had them on my Kindle, and because I love this series so much, I wanted to have physical copies. This is a ice hockey romance series. It's really queer, it's really funny, and I am obsessed with it. And then the last one I got for myself is actually technically a pre-order, so I should have put it in a different one, but it is the Fay Crate edition of Bonded by Thorns by Elizabeth Helen. I've spoken about this series many times. It's one of my favourites. Polyamorous Beauty and the Beast with Fae. So this was an event exclusive. I can't remember which event it was for, but they had leftover stock. So when I saw that they were putting it up on their website, I snatched it up. It's got this really beautiful cover. It's got a really nice subtle sprayed edge. But the main reason that I wanted this copy is because of the character artwork. So I will find... I'm obsessed with the artwork. So this is our main girlie Rosalina and Cass and Dayton. I love this book and I'm really happy I have this copy. Okay, and then we are going into all the books that I was gifted. So like I said, I got a lot of books for my birthday. So we're going to be going through those, and then I also, which I'm going to go through first actually, my Christmas present. So part of the Christmas present from one of my friends was this book series, and I didn't see her until towards the end of January, so that's why I'm only just now including them. And this is a series that I have spoken about previously on my channel, but I'm trying to get these in the right order and I'm struggling. There we go. So she bought me the first 3 books, oh god, in the Gods and Monsters series by Amber V. Nicole. So we have the Book of Azrael, which I'm currently reading, The Throne of Broken Gods, and The Dawn of the Cursed Queen. This is a dark fantasy romance series with a morally grey FMC, and I'm having a really good time with it. I am hoping to finish it soon because I am getting through it quite slowly, but yeah, really happy to have these. Next thing I'm going to haul, if you watch my December haul, then I hauled the exact same thing, but it is another box set of ACOTAR. So, fun story with this, I originally asked my dad for this when he was like, oh, what do you want for Christmas? And I was like, oh, ACOTAR box set, because I have some special edition dust jackets coming, which actually I think are arriving very soon. And I didn't end up getting them for Christmas, so I was like, oh, I'll just buy them myself after Christmas. And then my birthday rolled around and my dad bought me the set. So I currently have 2 of the exact same box sets. One I am going to be putting my new dust jackets on. They are the Bluely Boo, I think, dust jackets. And I'm sure I can find some other beautiful dust jackets to put on these. But yeah, I now have 3 full sets of the ACOTAR series. While we're talking about my dad, I'm going to go through the rest of the books that he got me for my birthday, because the main thing he bought me this year was books, and I am thrilled. So the first one is Blood Solace by Veil of Wrath. This is the sequel to Blood Mercy, I think it is. Yes, Blood Mercy. I absolutely adore these covers. I think they are so pretty. I know that this is a vampire romance. I believe it's more kind of political, and the romance is quite soft, and I think vampires are quite different in this series. They're not like your typical like bitey, scary vampires. I think they're quite like soft and gentle creatures, but I have a feeling I'm going to really like this series. So I wanted to get book 2 in case once I finish book 1 I do want to pick the second one up immediately. Actually, my dad only got me fantasy romance, which is fantastic. But the next one I have is To Bleed a Crystal Bloom by Sarah A. Parker. She's the same author that wrote When the Moon Hatched, but this is a dark fantasy romance series, a dark romantasy, and I'm gonna be really honest, I don't really know too much about it. I only found out about this series because Laura was talking about it a lot, and I really enjoy Laura's content and I trust her book recommendation, so if she loves it, I think I'm gonna like it too. Okay, another fantasy romance. I have A Touch of Golden Madness by K.L. DeVore. This is, I believe, another dark fantasy romance, dark romantasy. Again, I don't really know much about it. It says, as the first installment in the Celestials of Arcadia, Touch of Golden Madness is a story about moving through a lifetime of trauma while also packed with action, secrets, betrayal, and attention full... this doesn't quite make sense. And attention full of slow burning steam. It will keep you turning the pages to discover the long buried truths concealed by those who seek ultimate power. I don't know. Once upon a time, I knew the synopsis of this book and I thought it sounded really cool. I also like the cover, and it has massive font, I've just realised, which is a really big plus. And then the last one from my dad is Soul of... God, what is it? A Soul of Ash and Blood. I get so confused with these damn book titles, but this is book 5, I believe, in the From Blood and Ash series by Jennifer L. Armentrout. Listen, I have a really mixed relationship with this series because I loved book 1, I liked book 2, hated book 3, but then loved the first book in the spin-off series. So that has kind of made me really excited to carry on with the series again. So I have book 4 and now 5 in Blood and Ash, and I have book 2 in the spin-off series. So I have quite a lot of the next books in the series ready to go. I don't know how I'm going to feel about this one. I really don't. But I'm still excited to have it because I feel like I've got to a point now where I've read so many books in the series I am determined to finish it. Okay, my camera battery is flashing at me, so I'm gonna try and speed this up a little bit. So from one of my aunts I got, oh god, what is this called? The Songbird and the Heart of Stone by Carissa Broadbent. This is the third book in the Crowns of Nyaxa series and the first book in the kind of second duology of that series. I really liked the first duology, so I'm excited for this one. From my mum, she got me Steel Princess by Rena Kent, which is book 2 in Royal Elite. I've spoken a lot about Rena Kent. I love her books and I love Royal Elite. And then from another one of my aunts, I have Lady of Darkness by Melissa K. Roerich. This one is, I believe, whenever I hear people talk about it, they always say it's Throne of Glass-esque. So I'm assuming we follow an assassin lady, a sassy assassin, and I don't really know too much about it. I don't want to. I'm excited to read it. And from my lovely friend Claudia, she got me the Kamogawa Food Detectives by Hisashi Kashiwai? Hisashi Kashiwai. My pronunciation is not good today, but this one she read recently and I said I was intrigued by it, so she got me a copy. But I don't really know too much about it, but I tend to really like Japanese and Korean translated fiction. And then the last books I have were from my lovely, lovely boyfriend, and he got me, oh god, the Magnolia Parks universe. So I have all 5 books that are currently out. So we have Magnolia Parks, Daisy Hates, The Long Way Home, The Great Undoing, and Into the Dark. I'm so excited to read these. I did actually read the first couple pages of Magnolia Parks on my birthday because I was very excited, and I'm already obsessed. I love the writing style, and I think this is a series that I'm going to be obsessed with and I'm going to want to binge. Yeah, I believe that is all of the books that I have acquired in the months of January, February and the beginning of March. I am going to do a count of how many books I actually have and put it up on the screen somewhere. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please feel free to give it a like and subscribe if you feel like it. And hopefully I will see you in a new video soon. Bye!